Here with another Age Mythology Replay. So on the left side as the turquoise Amaterasu, we got IamSupaa. So on the right side is the red Kronos, I'm Hope. Makes me wonder if these players are clanmates. This is a random match, so I'm not exactly sure. Either way, when it comes to the major gods, Amaterasu is economic and samurai focus, earns gold trigger per Bushido tier. Samurai and Onimushas earn more experience when outside of combat, so idle is better. Shrines increase the resource, how much resource are within the deposits, up to 140%, which is very nice. And regenerates in health twice as fast in combat. For the unique upgrade, gets Miko's heal faster and train quicker. Not too important, but does give you a Miko for 60 food 5 favor as well. Not a great upgrade, just a upgrade. Of course, Kronos is the siege and myth unit. In time shift to a new location for structures. Buildings are constructed 25% faster when nearby a manor. Receive 2 free myth units, or rather than 1. Building siege weapon or myth unit gives you 20% rebate. And of course, this increases the number of buildings you time shift up to by +2 and reduce their costs. And so making its usage a bit more fun with that capability, able to forward move structures, and it's also not common to see some sort of rush tactics with the 2 myth units, particularly with Promethean. Though I am much more favored towards Leto as opposed to Prometheus or Oceanus. And it's honestly not because of automatons. You know, automatons is a great myth unit. It's primarily the Volcanic Forge upgrade. Let's see, Kronos. Let's see, Amaterasu is more focused around samurai, so we may see a bit more samurai focus for her. What can she do to improve them? You, of course, get some free recovered myth units for free, which is a very powerful amount of god power. Whirlwind weasels are not super great. They're okay. If infantry units get additional hit points, it's pretty good for Amaterasu. And of course, Miko's can increase the gathering rate, which is very nice as well. So this is probably a pretty good minor god for Amaterasu. Mina Katatomi, probably butchered that name well enough, gives you Shrine of the Hunt, which target shrine becomes Shrine of the Hunt, periodically spawns huntable deer as well as friendly wolves defend that area. I'm not sure how effective those friendly wolves. Don't think I've ever seen them selected. But it does offer shrine bonuses, which Amaterasu does sort of support as well. Improving the resource drop-off or quality of those deer is also very nice. So very nice for Amaterasu. She wants to go more economic focus. Wang Duo, have no idea. I don't think I've ever seen that deployed on the game. This upgrade looks like an Age of Empires 3 upgrade icon. Also, it makes your villagers gather from huntables 10% faster, which is very nice. Auto strength, increase the range soldier damage and the range by 1, so very nice there. Doesn't support samurai, but some units will support samurai. And reduce the cost of archers and siege units. So both these minor gods should work for Amaterasu quite well, and she is going for Ame no Uzume. Kronos is going for Prometheus. I keep wanting to say Promethean, which does give you access to Prometheans. Gives you the Valor God power, which is very nice to have. Improve the hit points of Promethean. Reduce, makes it easier to promote, which is not too great, but it's okay. It's nice to have, but nothing too significant. And Theft of Fire makes all your heroic citizens 20% more effective, which is very good. Let's see, has the temple has not been time shifted forward, so the Prometheans are going to be here. Brings back a relic. The range. I don't remember this relic. Probably one that got released in the recent expansion. Range soldiers get plus 0.2 divine damage. The Kitsune does go down. Amaterasu, or doesn't really support Kitsune like Tsuyomi or Susanoo. And this shrine does not affect the Kitsune either. Yoshi. Whirlwind Weasel pushing way forward. The Kamatachi, I don't know how to pronounce many things. shrine now being employed in the field, which eventually start improving nearby quality of these resources, increasing how much in their contents. And it actually is, Amaterasu is going to be eyeing for upgraded whirlwind weasels, plus 40% damage. It may be a good idea to pull out more of the weasels before I get this upgrade. Each one of those weasels are, let's see, are 12 favor, improve the damage by 40%, which I tend to weight the health and damage 50-50%. So improve the quality by 20%, cost 20 favor, 20% 12 favor, let's just round up to 3 favor. And 20 divided by 3, just round up to 21, so doing some rounding errors. There should be, I think, at least 7 of these wheels on the field before you go for this research, based on my offhand math. We do have the theft of fire being researched, and since both players are just ecoing up, I'm going to fast forward a little bit there. We've got 2 of the weasels push me forward. Of course, with Valor, you guys are going to see a good number of heroic citizens who can just turn around and stab the weasels. I mentioned there's a heroic oracle there. Though he is going to use the oracle to stab the weasel. He sees everything, including their death. We got some Prometheans here. And he could probably use the Valor on this guy when he has enough favor. Or at least when he gets enough low enough health to instantly heal it up. Another Valor power deployed on the field. Citizens are here. Remember, these are heroic citizens. They're going to do their part. There's the Divine Shield there. Could retarget the other one. But here comes the Naginata Riders. The citizen has gone down. So got a pair of Samurai, pair of Naginata Riders, pair of Whirlwind Weasels, and 1 Onimusha. Cherry Ballista now pulling a few. Does have a bit of divine damage to go along with it, but of course very exposed right now. There's his Valor power to instantly reheal it, which will be good against these weasels. We'll have trouble with some Naginata Riders. Another bunch of Samurai getting some damage there. Promethean can pick off by the Onimusha, time shifting a manner, try to do a bit of a bottom blocking. Got a Miko here. Miko's effectively heroic villagers. They're not great for combat. Don't use them for combat. They're really not meant for combat. Healing, that would be good though. They have the same base health and movement speed as villagers. Their damage is actually a lower DPS barring versus the bonus multiplier versus myth units, but they are only melee and they have no movement speed to get into melee. Do not use Mikos as a anti-myth unit. It's an emergency unit for that aspect. Treat them as heroic villagers, as of course healers. Do not have Hyperion being queued on up. We'll give access to Satyrs, Sons of Skies, Heroic Renewal, and Sons of Suns. Pioneers of Skies. Red has a decent force here, advancing. Including another Promethean. He doesn't have the upgraded Promethean upgrade, which I need to slow down and look at this upgrade. The extra offspring does give a bit more noticeable and does give quite a bit of health there. Red's force does get quickly cleaned up. Remember, medium samurai are 4 population units, so they're very high potency for a small unit. Of course, I constantly remind myself that these samurai are not like the Age of Empires 3 samurai, so they don't do bonus damage for cavalry. You can see here these pieces of delicious venison has 275 venison into them rather than, what, just 200? And the gazelle, yep, 200. Hyperion now being researched. We'll give access to Satyr, a decent backline myth unit. It's just they just throw spears, that's it. But the thing as well, ranged myth units are a bit more, I tend to favor more because it's easier to keep them alive and they can be very powerful safely. I wonder if that divine damage upgrade, did it say range units or range myth units or range human soldiers? Range soldiers, that probably does not affect the satyrs.
Skopos? Yuji?
Some forces here. Right, just trying to back on off. Green has a decent force there. There's double Satyr. Yep, no divine damage. Of course, they're a little bit outnumbered. Getting some decent damage going. 20 damage, 1 attack speed, 18 range. Just decent backline one. Of course, he does have access to the very powerful Chaos God Power. It feels like all the Age 3 Atlantean God Powers are pretty good. Definitely a big fan of Trader, though. In this case, would be very useful. Trader would be very good versus the Shrine here, so the free myth units in case won't be and replacing myth units won't be returned back. Right now at tier 2, so guys, medium heavy is almost available, also aging up to Rajin. I'm shifting the mana forward. Large number of manas here. Red's force is coming in a little bit piecemeal, that's not good. There's also gonna be Naginata Riders, so some counter cavalry units wouldn't be half bad. Currently 3 satyrs on the field, going for more not counter units. Copper and bronze upgrades. You do have the plow, going for the Hainan mask. You have your infantry, a little bit of lifesteal, and increase their hit points even further. So with this, they'll have up to plus 25% increased maximum hit points, which is pretty nice. A very healthy force indeed. Chariot bullets are now being employed in the field as well. Nope, I did not see these forces. Got the Continentais engaging some of the villagers. Naginata Riders and trying to engage. Chaos God Power in the center right here. And now got the Thunderous Blast now being researched, or Thunderous Burst being deployed in the field. Try and back on off. Of course, the radius is always misleading. That's where it was, not where it will be. That's one point of that God Power. That radius should show where the next burst is going to be, rather than is where it was. Citizens trying to collect this gold deposit here next to the castle. Looks like this piggies are getting pretty well fattened. It's going to be start eating those piggies. Heavy range and satyr upgrade, increasing the charge range attack damage. Does find those citizens, so starting to go on down. Destroyers engaging the castle. And looks like Red's force is getting hit in melee. Not responding properly. Completely surrounded, getting knocked around a little bit there. Divine Shield one of the two-tailed doggos. Valor Power onto one of the Fundamentals. Deconstructing that castle there. Red's army here is starting to go on down. Citizens collecting up a good amount of food there. No watchtowers. Green's force is taking quite a bit of damage there. Thunderous Burst causing issues. Now I do have Hyperion queued on up. Almost enough resources to get it going. Hyperion. Oh, looks like just spent some of the gold there. It has the pallets on the field, right? So should be able to deploy it. Research in. Also spending more gold there to prevent Hyperion from actually being deployed. Got some more Cherry Ballista and Satyrs being queued on up. Contineris engaged some of these villagers. The Destroyer is also taking out some of these infrastructure. Hyperion now being blown in the field. Amaterasu has enough gold to go for age up, just needs a lot more food. Samurai does go down there. More satyrs, more destroyers, copper shields, heavy infantry. Big ground heroic citizens. More samurai, more Naginata riders. Got a very healthy number of Chariot Ballista. May want to need to get more couple pelters for anti-cavalry. Naginata riders find the clump from theirs. Looks like Red's armor just getting completely surrounded and cleaned on up. And Kronos has now aged on up. Does have the Devoted to at least being researched. Can now start going for more fanatics. And it looks like going to go for fanatic composition would be good against the infantry and versus the cavalry. These guys look like on patrol move. Trying to get healed up by the Mikos. Of course, 2 Argus here would be a good force multiplier. Has heavy cavalry, heavy infantry. Champion range, champion infantry being queued on up. Not champion cavalry though. We may see implosion here. Continues pushing forward. We got some Bushis here to engage the Argus. Center back line, Argus pushing forward. Argus do spill their acid on the ground. Getting good number of damage from some of the Yumi archers. Whirlwind Weasels are starting to get overwhelmed as well. Number of souls going to be sent back to the shrine. Axe doing a good job against these Naginata riders.
So close.
Samurai do plus 50% damage versus the infantry, same as Fanatics, but Fanatics will have a much higher attack speed. But of course, Samurai do have a charge attack. They're now champion as well, even though Amaterasu is not age 4. Got some more Yumi archers, more Bushis, and more Naginata riders being put on the field. Looks like Kronos did cancel some of the destroyers. Got the conscription there. Last of this gold is now being cleaned on up. We still got some more gold here for either player to obtain. And here as well. The Titan shields there, greatly increasing the pierce armor of the destroyers. Said it does go down there. Citizens backing on off. Looks like almost all of those are heroic citizens. Yeah, it looks like all of them heroic citizens. And they're getting a little bit tied up with the down trees cause some mobility issue. None of those citizens are starting to go down there. A couple Tornos being blown in the field as well, which would be a good counter to the Bushis. Destroyers pushing forward, trying to hit this town center. Doing some good damage there. We do now have Okunushi being researched. There's more focused on siege weapons. Give you another level of draft horses, effectively. Because you look here. He has a lot of potential for the unique siege weapon they have. Plus 4 range, plus 50% pierce damage, making him more effective versus the armies. And giving them plus 4 range, combined with the draft horses, I think the range get up to like 30, something ridiculous. Which should be very effective versus the Fanatics. Some got deconstructed. Looks like that castle did. Destroyers are destroying the siege weapons. These guys would be a good option against those improved crossbow with the high pierce armor. Fanatics will not. Fanatics have low pierce armor. Heroic Arcus Archers taking out some of the Raju. And there's a jump for Amaterasu. And going for the Sacred Gate, getting a free charge, does go for another one of these, which is, does increase the Mythos you get recovered. It's just more the fact you get another queue of them going, I believe. I believe it splits the queue. Which is very nice if you go get a large number of Mythos cycled through there. Going for a large number of these Automokrus. And going for the very unique siege ups there. Including draft horses as well. This is going to go for a full siege. There's a number of those wretches being spawned. They're quite wretched. Fanatics Archers push way forward, some Artist Archers. There's another Thunder's Burst, a free charge of it. Just save up more favor for that, and you'll get more charges for all the God Powers. One more burst. Red has these Fanatics pushing around, trying to take over more of these villagers. Got this guy saving it. The town center is also on fire. Maybe we'll get that repaired. Palaces go down there. Fanatics and Destroyers push right forward. Looks like these guys starting to retarget. It's good damage on the Fanatics, who has 8 range armor. These crossbows need to start hitting this group of formation there. This will do is cleave through a good number of them once it fires. They're having trouble retargeting because the targets keep them dying. Fortress does go down there. Large number of watchtowers for defense. That is a large number of wretches. 80 health, 4 damage. They're just a pile of meat shields. They don't last very long. These are just Crane's Plague Bringer Omokarakus. Yep. Plague Cranes.
Σκόπος.
More destroyers, among other things, push way forward. Of course, as these start going down, they will get replaced, which is very nice. Towns that are there does go down, and if these structures get captured, this is going to cause issues, but a lot of structures nearby. Argus Archers firing away. A number of these Fanatics starting to go on down to these crossbowmen, but they're not in large numbers. As a large got shot down. I don't see all the souls are going back over here. Oh, looks like the souls are still depositing, looks like. The Sacred Gate still captured as well. The Archer's trying to get picked on off. Got the gold mine here with a pretty good maximum deposit increase. More heroic destroyers. And Kronos is queued up to the Titan Gate, but nowhere near has enough resources for it. Going for some llama caravans as well. The Archer's not going to do much versus these destroyers. They have 91% of range resist. I see all those units going down. Those are those siege crossbows. They're slow wind-up speeds causing issues there. Implosion's now cast. I think that's actually the first one, so... Does miss the villagers over there. It does get a good number of villagers here. How many can go down? I see 60. They must disintegrate immediately. Rather than they stay alive till it explodes. And green does go ahead and resign. As Anne Gray saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.